Hello, friends. This is episode 15.
Hi, I'm Debbie. I'll get this right eventually.
I am Stephanie.
I am Ronnie.
And I'm Lisa McIntyre. This is Working Wonders. Tonight is episode 15, and we are going to be talking about more apps and computer programs that we use to keep our businesses hopefully running smoothly. Who would like to get us started tonight? I think Stephanie?
Yeah.
Right? Yes? Okay.
Yes. So one of the ways that the only way that I take in orders now is through our website, which is connected to Microsoft Outlook. So the way that our customers contact us is they go to our website and they fill out a contact form. There's various fields of information that they can populate. There's also a spot on there that they can attach any sort of inspirational photos that they found. But the most important part of that is we get the bulk of the information that we need from them. So their first and last name, obviously the delivery address for their deliverable or for their event, time, date, all of those things. Through that, after the customer submits the form, it comes in to us as the form of an email through Microsoft Outlook. So the reason that I set it up that way is because I can directly link everything with my Square account as well as with my Microsoft Outlook calendar. So all of that is readily available and I can access that through any device that I have. So if I'm on the road, if somebody needs an answer really quick, I can pull up on my phone, I can pull up my Outlook calendar, I can see, yep, we're good to go for Saturday, April 16th at 10 o'clock. Everything populates together and it's all tied together. So that makes it really easy for us to keep track of orders, as well as customer information, and then make sure that we're not forgetting about anybody.
Can I ask you something? How does your form go from your website? How does it hook up with Microsoft? Like, is that something in your website? Is it something in Microsoft? How do you get those to talk to each other?
So when I linked it, let me think about what you're asking me. So when I linked it through, my website is through GoDaddy. So that was all done in the back office admin part of GoDaddy. So you had options if you wanted it to go to a Google email. I chose Microsoft Outlook because that's what I'm familiar with, honestly, from working with McDonald's, and I'm used to working with that calendar. So that was an easy transition for me. I know that there's other people. I'm going to start exploring a few different apps. Jessica Zillman actually told me about Honeybooks. The thing that I'm kind of curious, I want to play around with it before I talk about it too much, but when a customer inputs their information into her contact us form, it automatically populates in her invoice. Whereas unfortunately, I don't have that capability. So from Microsoft Outlook, when it comes to me in an email, it literally looks like a screenshot of their contact form that they filled out on the website. I then in turn have to go and populate all of that information into Square because that's what we use for our POS system. So not exactly fine-tuned yet. I do like that streamline of it. I like the paper trail of things and having the double backup. I can go and I can reference the contact form in Microsoft Outlook, and then I can also reference the contact form in Square. That makes it very nice.
Does that, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you again. Does that automatically populate your calendar? Or do you have to put it in your Microsoft calendar?
From Outlook, yes. No, from Outlook it does. It just doesn't automatically populate the invoice form on Square.
Okay. Because I'm thinking now,
and I don't know.
Contact form also sends me an email on Outlook, but it doesn't automatically populate anything.
Right. So, and I don't know which one I would be willing to give up. I think I would be more willing to have to continue to input into the invoice as opposed to give up linking to my calendar, because that's huge. Because I can literally go and I can print out a month's view. So I can print out my whole month of March, and then I can see all my jobs that are on there so far. Mm-hmm. So not the perfect system, but not, with that one except, it's a very good system. If I could change one thing about it, it would be that the information also went to Square, but it does work very efficiently. So that's nice.
That's awesome. I like that. I like that. I like the idea of the one that Jessica is using. You say that it populates automatically for it. Like that would be really nice.
So
Yeah, I'm
17
gonna look into it. I have a pretty busy weekend coming up, but after that I wanted to start.
So 17 Hats does that as well.
Oh, does it?
I'm like a little
Okay.
embarrassed. I bought it a very long time ago, and I'm only about a third of the way through. But it does. As soon as they fill out the contact form, it populates your calendar in 17 Hats. And I think it also, you know what? I can't say that it also makes an invoice, but all that information is all together in 17 Hats, so that it does. I think it does the same as HoneyBooks. And I heard on Facebook this week, a few people were complaining about HoneyBooks. I'm not sure why, but some people were having some issues with it. So,
Well, you said that you got yours as a like a Black Friday discount, right?
I did. I got a Black Friday sale, and I said, okay, that's it. That's going to force me to do this. And I bought it, and I was all gung ho. But it's really a lot of inputting and but the good part of all these CRMs is once you have the template set, it will send you, all you have to do is say, click send, or you can even, I'm a little bit into 17 Hats. I'm sure there's people in the audience who probably know exactly how this works, but I can even set up a workflow. In other words, that somebody sends me an email and then they get a thank you for their inquiry, and then I do this, and then the system automatically does that. So there's a lot of automations in it. I'm just, like I said, at the moment, I'm finding it a little overwhelming because there's just, everything has to be set up from scratch. So
Yeah, any of these
it's just
systems.
easier for me to answer somebody's email in Outlook and say, oh, thank you for here, this is what this is, and then having to input it into an invoice. And in fact, somebody had a very cool idea. I don't remember who. She says, if somebody calls, she right away, I think maybe it was Sarah Meyer on her podcast. She says as she's talking to them, she types it into 17 Hats.
I do that with my manager Sal.
If they had done it.
Yeah, I do that with Square as well. I pull up an invoice.
Oh, see.
I don't know.
Even if you pull them up, you can make a customer form for them, and you don't necessarily have to send out that invoice.
Right.
Stephanie, are you finished talking about that, or I didn't want to jump in on manager Sal here, because that's what I do. Is I started as an entertainer, and I wasn't sure what I needed as far as a contract and booking system, and I learned about manager Sal, and it's like, $10 a month, and that thing has paid for itself time and time again. It's kind of one-stop shopping for me. As my business grew and changed, and I started adding in, more decor elements, I've changed because it's so much of it is customizable. What's great about it is that a lot of it is set up, especially if you're doing entertainment stuff. It is set up like for that right from the get-go. And Melissa Vinson backed us up on, she said, yes, the most painful part of input, most painful part is the input into a new system, but it's so worth it. It took her 15 years before she had a CRM. And that's, I think we all agree that is the most painful part of it. But then once you do it, it's like you're done, and it's
why
going to
did
make
I
your
do
life
this 10 years ago?
Yeah, and
that's why I don't want to switch anything.
Like I could have had a V8, that kind of a thing,
And so whenever a client calls me, provided that I'm in a quiet area or I can pop in my headphones, I'll hold my phone and put it on speakerphone or headphones, and I will pull up manager Sal right there on my phone, no matter where I am, pull over, whatever,
and put it in.
And I will type in all of their information as they're telling it to me. And it's a list of, the who, what, where, when, why, how. And when I get off the phone with them, I have their email, I have their phone number, everything is already saved into my contact form. And, if they're going to book me or whatnot, I could just, okay, whenever I get off the phone, I'm going to go ahead and send you your contract. it's already written up for me because I filled it
Yes.
all in while I'm talking. It's just point and click and drop and type this in and I'm done. And
Well, in my defense,
can
I just want
immediately-
to say one thing, that when I started my business, there was no such thing, because there
You
weren't
don't have to defend
websites.
No,
yourself.
yeah.
There weren't websites. There wasn't email. There wasn't.
Well, Melissa
It was
says you can do
paper and
it,
pen,
Betty.
and I still fax Judy the write up, and she still puts it into QuickBooks. But
Yeah, and
Right.
a CRM is really the way to go. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Lisa, but it's really the way to go because it really streamlines things, and
yeah.
you have a paper trail or a digital
Right.
trail. I
And
guess.
that's where something like Manager Sal,
Yeah.
you know, it would take a little bit of more tweaking for the person that is just starting out in decor or already established in decor where they're not doing entertainment stuff. You would just have to go in and every time it says like, you know, talking about like your overtime and that kind of thing, like, you know, as an entertainer, you just
Right.
delete that part out of your contract and whatnot. And when it comes to services that the client has requested, there's drop down menus, and some of them I can just type in. Not some of them. I can choose to type in, or I can choose from a list that I've auto populated.
Right.
And it's, you know, I've got a stationary balloon artist, strolling balloon artist, face painting, you know, glitter tattoos, custom centerpieces.
Nothing on my list.
And, right. Well, and then, you know, it's grown to, you know,
Right.
custom centerpieces, columns, you know, arches, and some of them just say like deluxe party package, and it's because I have a client that wants this, this, and this, and then in the description I give more of a detailed list of what it is, the colors I'm using, and that sort of thing.
Right.
And whenever it comes to the party times, the client is aware that that is my opportunity for delivery. You know, if it says, you know, 7 a.m. for 3 hours, that
Right.
means that you can expect me between 7 and 10 a.m. That doesn't mean I'm going to be there at 7 a.m. Like that is our window for delivery. And so I'm able to tweak it. And where, for
Right.
me, Manager Sal, I think is great. It's great for the part-time people, the people who are just starting out, and, you know, the people who don't have a system established yet, because it helps you develop good habits. As soon as you pull that open and you're asking those questions of your client, you're asking the right questions. We don't ever want to get to the point where we hang up the phone and we're like, oh shoot, I forgot to ask them the address, or I didn't get their phone, I didn't get their
Mhm.
their email address. Now I can't email them.
This
It's
is our
all
It
CRM.
seems to be very user friendly.
We
It
write.
Manager
We have
Sal.
like a sheet that like an intake sheet that we've
Mhm.
had for.
Hold it
20
in
years.
front of you, Deb.
Hold it right here so we can see it.
and
Hold
with
on.
Manager Sal and a lot
closer.
of these CRMs, you know, it helps you develop those good habits. And
It's making your face
Yeah.
disappear.
no, you've just disappeared into the
That's all right.
matrix.
Here,
There you go.
right there.
Hold it. There you go. Perfect.
There you go.
So it has
That's
like
your
name,
intake form.
address,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
work phone, cell phone, date, and
And
then
see,
Right.
there's
if I were to
space at
write
the
any of that
bottom.
down, I'd then have to stop what I'm doing at some point and then
And go
find
back
that
and
piece
put
of
it all
paper and then actually type it in. And so,
Well,
the
no,
ability to
I
do
that-
fax it to Judy and she types it in.
well, you know, we could all
We
use
don't
a
all have
Judy,
a
I think,
Judy.
right?
You
yeah.
will need a
Right.
Judy. I don't
We
think
don't
she's.
have a
The truth is, she
Judy.
surprised me last week, but I don't think she's listening because she's in Arizona on vacation.
Yeah, and
Oh.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It was fine.
But yeah, so the having these systems,
Debbie.
it helps you develop, and it reinforces your good habits, and it creates a paper trail. At the end of the year, I can go and say, what were my jobs from this date to this date? And again, I'm dealing with Manager Sal. Let's see. Manager Sal has invoicing. I can send an invoice directly from there. I can send my contract directly from there, and it's electronic contract. I can set it up so that way it sends out like a thank you note. It can set out a feedback
That's nice.
request.
So 17 Hats does that as well. Not for
Right.
me yet because
And it has a payment gateway set up where
Right.
Todd was just telling me that they just integrated Stripe, which I haven't even heard of that yet.
yeah.
But it's similar to Square. I personally
Do they have
use-
it with Square? Can you
It does,
link with
I
Square?
personally
You can.
use PayPal and Square, but it's set up with Stripe, Square,
Probably PayPal.
PayPal for sure,
PayPal.
and have it in one of my notes here.
Yeah, there's one
Trying to
more.
find it. Venmo, which, you know, we can get into this next week when we talk about more point of sale things, but you know,
Yeah.
everybody recommends you not use Venmo, at least the friends and family. A lot of people are using that, and people do that with PayPal too, just because it's not the business kind. And Zelle is hooked up through
Right.
Manage Yourself. So it's like you can really, any way that you're accepting money, you can
That's
accept it
nice.
through there. It's extremely nice. And you can have it where when it sends out your contract, it tells you, I accept cash, check, or these 2 or 3 or 5 different, you know, payments. And
Nope.
you can
I
change
accept
that.
plastic.
Yes. And so some of the new stuff that Manager Sal has got up and running now is that you can have it text you. And whenever you get, I can't wait to reopen my business and have it do this, because when a contact lead gets sent in, somebody goes to my website and clicks on that contact form, which is one line of code that I put on my website. And that contact form, I don't have, my website is not live right now, but that one line of code on there, people click on that contact form and it has all the information that I want from them, and I can customize it. When that gets sent, of course, there's like a notification on Manager Sal, but now Manager Sal will text message me and say, you've got a new lead, so I can catch it right away. And because people
That's a
have their
cool
phone.
feature.
I love that. I'm so
Very
looking forward
nice.
to using
I
that.
just want to say one thing. We're going to be talking about how we take our money next week, but most of these CRMs, they will only connect with QuickBooks Online. They will not, because I asked 17 Hats, I wanted it, we use QuickBooks for our money stuff. We'll talk about it next week, but it will only integrate with the online QuickBooks. It will not integrate with the desktop QuickBooks.
Well, it just,
and I'm guessing, and he told me that none of them, it's because of QuickBooks. It's not because of 17 Hats.
Right.
QuickBooks is not, QuickBooks is trying very hard to push everybody to online. So I guess that's why they're not allowing the integration to desktop. But I don't think Manager Sal can either, because QuickBooks doesn't let, is what I'm.
I have a question between Manager Sal and 17 Hats. So Manager Sal is more tailored to an entertainer, whereas 17 Hats tailored to
17 Hats is really tailored to small business.
Out of the box,
just general.
Yeah, it is not balloon oriented at all. And in fact, the one that they use as your sample, like when you're trying to set it up, is a dog grooming company.
Yeah, out of the box, Manager Sal is set up for the entertainment industry. Out of the box. So if you were a balloon artist or a magician or a juggler, when you would jump in, like it's basically already filled out for you. And you know, it's like the generic thing is when it comes to the drop down menu, it says like some service that I provide, and it's just so you can play with it a little bit.
Can I just say that I like that juggler?
Do you juggle?
To your head.
Yeah. Well, no, it's set up out of the box. It's set up for an entertainer. But I have a woman that I met a number of years ago who owned her own bakery, and she needed to have some sort of a contract system. And she started off with Manager Sal. She just went in and just where it said entertainer, you know, all of those things, she just tweaked it so it was about her baked goods. And so anything that we do, we're going to have to build from the ground up anyway. It's out of the box. It's more towards so.
You didn't hear my question. I asked if you juggle.
Oh,
yeah, do you juggle?
I'm up to one ball now. I'm up to one ball now. I've been to 2 juggling conventions, and that's as far as I've gotten. You know,
I just think that's funny that was the first thing that came to your head. You're like, if you're an entertainer,
magician first,
or a juggler.
Yeah, that's why I just thought maybe Lisa has a secret talent that we just don't know about.
No, I have zero grace, which is
Ronnie,
why the stilt walking thing is going to be an issue later this year on my.
I only know how to juggle 3 balls and 3 pins, and I
only
because because when I was a bartender, I was actually training to be a flair bartender. And so I thought that, so I can juggle the bottles, and I can do all that stuff where I like throw the bottles and like catch it on my arm and all that fun stuff. And so I had to learn how to juggle the balls because I wanted to juggle limes. and I learned how to juggle pins because I thought that it was going to help me with the bottles. Fun fact, two totally different things. So it was a waste of time for me to learn how to juggle the pins, because the distribution, the way that you're catching and throwing the bottles is completely different than the way that you're catching and throwing the pins. But if you have empty bottles, so if you're learning how to flare juggle, if you want to learn how to use your regular juggling and take it behind the bar, use Malibu bottles, because they catch and throw very similar to a pin. So that's your useless information of the day.
Now we know if we ever run out of topics.
And those are the best bottles to learn with, because the entire bottle is wrapped in plastic. And so if you drop it, the bottle doesn't shatter. It keeps it all contained, so it's an easier cleanup. So the more you know.
The more you know.
Then I invested in the practice bottles, and I was like, oh, these throw totally different than the clubs. Funny. So yeah.
Yeah, that is way outside of my
tangent there. I just
way outside of my talent pool.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah.
Having to shush away a 4-year-old. I made St. Patrick's Day stuffed balloon demo, and I don't know if you guys can hear her. She's like coming around. I'm like pushing her out of frame. I'm like, stay out of frame. She's like, I have to ask you a question.
Everybody knows that we're working from home. So
can I pop that balloon? I'm like, no.
So to get back to Manage Yourself, not to turn
I'm really sorry. I took us on a total tangent.
It's okay. I don't want to turn the episode into a commercial for Manage Yourself, but it's one of those things where right from the get-go I was a professional in my clients' eyes. I had the balloons down pat. It was the business side where I was like, what do I do? And suddenly I have this electronic contract where people can sign it electronically at any point in time. They can click on that link and it brings up what it is that they, have agreed to. They've access to it over and over again. Of course, once they've signed it, they can't unsign it or something. And if I change it, they have to re-agree to it again. So, I can release the contract and change. And so there's so many ways for me to customize it.
I know Manager Sal is for the month. Stephanie McMillan said that it's because it's just like Gigio. But is 17 hats by the year? Can you do it by the month?
Well, I know you can do it by the month. You mean pay for it? You can pay for it by the month.
Is it monthly or is it year?
It's both. You have a choice one way or the other. And like I said, I bought it on a Black Friday sale. So I think I got I paid for 2 years and I got 3 months free. I don't remember. It was such a long time ago that I paid for it. But every day I try and at least look at it and think, oh, I could do this. And then I get distracted.
Yeah. Right. So
with Manager Sal, we had to New York and we're going to set it up.
Yeah. We had to switch to Gigio because Manager Sal wasn't working for both of us.
Yeah, with Manager Sal, in many of these systems, Manager Sal is by the month, but I just pay for it for the year. And it just renews every year. And whenever you pay for it by the year, I think you get 1 or 2 months free. So I can send notes, thank you notes, the contract form, model releases. So if you are going to be at the event and you're the bride and groom are there and you are taking pictures of them, or the mother at the baby shower or whatnot, and you're taking pictures of them, you can actually send them a model release too. It's built into the system, and you can and it's being sent from your email that you have connected to it. It's not getting sent, hey, Manager Sal is being sent, is sending you an email from Inflated Creations. It's actually coming from your email address because you've given Manager Sal permission to do that.
It looks like, I'm going to interrupt you really quick. It looks like all the systems do a referral program, because Jenny Pietro was saying Honeybooks also offers referrals. Gigio offers referrals, and Manager Sal we know offers referrals. Does 17 Hats?
Right.
I'm pretty sure 17 Hats does, but I haven't done it long enough to refer.
Right. And so
so if you find a system that you love, you can definitely share it with people.
Right. So
I think I'm gonna love it.
some of the new features that they have is that it's integrated with text. We already talked about the payment gateways. One of the new things that they have, which I hope to use sometime in the near future, is that you can have a separate login for Manager Sal for staff and assistants. So that way, if they go in, and then you can go and see like an activity log that they wrote up a contract or they changed something. You won't be able to see exactly what it was that happened, but there's an activity log there. And so it's not like your assistant will be able to go in and just change everything. You have no idea what happened. Like you'll be able to see what got touched. And so it did start off very much, this is for an entertainer, and it's very cut and dry, that way. And it has changed and grown so much over the years. And especially lately, it's just, I'm really looking forward to being able to use some of these services. It does have the download to calendar. I have Google Calendar. And so I just click it and poof, all of a sudden it's on my calendar. And I know it does like Apple Calendar and those things too, which is invaluable because it's literally all right there in my calendar. And there's a link, and I click on that link and it brings me to the Manager Sal website that has my contract. So I can literally see like right there. It's like just, kind of one-stop shopping for me. And it has a mileage calculator, which I kick myself every year I do my taxes because I've not been using it. And so that is going to be something I'm definitely going to start using. And one of the other things I like, and I think most of these systems have a money finder where you can click like for this 3 months in the past and see who still owes you money. And if you've received, your contract and you've received your deposit and whatnot, but they still have like outstanding money and you haven't clicked that off yet, you will have that list of people. And then you can also look ahead for the next 3 to 6 months. What are the jobs I did last year during this chunk of time? So you can see summer's coming. I need to reach out to all these people that had birthdays and anniversaries and, special events and grand openings. Do they want to celebrate their first anniversary? That kind of thing. And then you can just send them all off emails and go, we loved your event last year. Want to see if you'd want to start setting something up this year because our calendar is getting full. And so in like right from the get-go, I had a very smoothly well-run business, and I still was just trying to figure out, what was going on. And so it, again, I think with really any of these systems that it's the bookkeeping and the paper trail that's really going to help, where it helps you establish those healthy habits to keep your business running smoothly. And then one of the things that Todd was showing me that I hadn't seen before is business reports. You can actually go in and look at your track your business from the very beginning until now. And it made me wish that I had all along put in, because I do a lot of subcontracted work, that I had at least been putting that into there instead of just having it on my calendar and keeping that separate, because I would literally be able to track. It looks like, because I started off and I was all on my own and I started taking up subcontracted stuff. So it looks like my business is going down lower and lower and lower and lower since I began. And really it's been going up. But it is really nice to see like right there where you can see that you have trends where for whatever reason, the month of March is your really light month. So maybe, well, March is a bad idea or a bad example. Let's say May. May is like a really slow month for you. So your spouse or your children or you just need a break. And so maybe you need to look at the month of May to schedule that vacation, because it actually shows you your business trends. And again, I don't have a lot of experience with, some of these others. I've dabbled a little bit with Dubsado and 17 Hats. And for me, for my purposes, for my business, it was Manager Sal. It's helpful that it's what I know and it's already not auto-populated, it's already built up with all of those things that we need to put in there. Yeah. But there are, it's one of those things, if you don't have it, if you're relying on, your your sticky notes and your paper calendar and stuff. It's just if you don't have that paper calendar with you whenever you're out and about, and if you're relying on those sticky notes and stuff whenever you get home to put things in, it can get you into trouble. And I don't know if anybody else has been there. I do want to, Ronnie touched on a couple of these things that were in the chat. And it looks like Melissa says that she loves the Gmail button on Manager Sal. I live for that thing where it's like I've put it in and I just click Gmail and I'm done. It's already in my calendar and I've got all the links and information in there. And there is some discussion that it looks like 17 Hats is $45 a month.
No.
That's what Stephanie McMillan says. That 45 a month. So I'm not sure.
No.
What are you paying for yours?
I would have to look it up, but no. I would have never. No,
I know
like
that Manager Sal's like, Manager Sal's like $10
no, it's not. I'll look it up.
Gigio is $20 a month.
All right.
And
Well,
what are you
let's
paying
hear
for
about
Outlook?
17 Hats.
Let's hear about 17 Hats. I want to hear about it.
So
let's hear about 17
If I
Hats.
could real quick, hold on. Stephanie, what do you pay for Outlook?
I don't pay anything for Outlook.
Outlook is free.
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a benefit.
Well, do you have
Stephanie says she just Googled it.
It was 45. I did not. I'm telling you, I paid like.
But you got a good deal on that. So there might be good
I think I paid like
deals.
$250 for 2 years. It was nowhere near $45. Nowhere near that. Maybe it went up now.
Maybe because you got yours on the Black Friday sale.
Well,
maybe, but such a big difference. I don't know.
And it might be there might be like different levels of service that they provide too.
Also, but it was definitely not that much.
Check on that before your renewal comes up, because if you got a really great deal on Black Friday.
I never would have. I never would have paid for something like that.
Hannah True just posted in the chat that she just bought a lifetime membership for $1,250 for 17 Hats.
Yes, they have that on Black Friday. You can buy like a 2-year or 5-year, and then they have like 100 lifetime subscriptions.
Oh, Debbie,
which I didn't want to do yet because I didn't know enough about it.
Erica Lee has said that if you did the 2-year plan, it's $17 a month, but otherwise it's $45 a month. So,
so maybe that's what it was. I know I didn't pay the $45 a month.
All right, well, let's hear about this thing that we're possibly keeping or getting rid of, and how much it's so expensive.
We're renewing for 2 years at a time.
Anyway, I just want to say the truth is 17 Hats really does a lot of the things that Lisa said. You can send out automatic contracts and electronically sign, and people can pay through that. But what people have to realize is that, I don't know about Manager Sal, but 17 Hats is not a way to keep track of your money. We're going to talk about that next week. You don't pay your taxes through there. Right. I don't think you do that through Manager Sal either. It's not how you pay your taxes. It's not how you keep track of, a lot of this stuff. You really need a money thing for that. And like I said, we're going to talk about that next week. Stay tuned. But 17 Hats, what I really like about it is, first of all, their chat is like so responsive, and when they respond to you, they respond in the chat, and they also send you an email. So I can look back on every question I've asked them, and trust me, there have been many. And I have an email trail of my questions and their answers, which is to me like a very valuable thing, because you can't keep that chat. It goes away when you close the program. And they respond. It says they respond within 3 hours. I've never waited more than like 15, 20 minutes. And then they back and forth. And every single person I've chatted with, and again, there have been many, are nice people and knowledgeable, and they know what they're talking about. They also have something called 17 Hats University. Now I'm a little embarrassed because there's obviously people in the audience who know more about this than I do. But they have the 17 Hats University, where it talks you through how to set it up. Like, what do you want to do, and what's the next step? And then and we even signed up for like a mini webinar, which I thought was going to be just us, but it's not. It's like 10 other businesses. So it's really not personal, but they really help you set it up a lot, which for somebody like me, who is not an app friendly person, it's very helpful. I know that once I sit down and actually do it for a couple of hours, I'll have it set
I
up.
would do that too. I would totally do the webinar, and I would totally walk through and go through the university so that I knew all
so that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I had a question. I don't know if you guys remember, a few weeks ago, I was getting spam emails on an email address I hardly use. And then I started getting stuff from Stripe that my account So I thought, did I sign up on 17 Hats for Stripe? Like, I couldn't remember. So I chatted them. I said, my email was spam. Do I have Stripe with you guys? And they checked, no, you don't have Stripe, and we're sorry your email was spammed, and I hope it all works out.
Right.
But they didn't have to do that for me. Like, I didn't know where to look, which is really my own stupidity. But I find they were very helpful. And to me, I think when somebody can walk you through something, you're better off. What are you laughing at me?
No, I'm
Somebody said something about it in the chat.
laughing because it just caught me by surprise because Hannah True said, sorry, I'm drinking and lost connection. 17 Hats is super helpful and supportive. And then right away, she said, driving. It just totally caught me by surprise.
Well, see, I got
so funny, Hannah.
So now I have confirmation of what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
But it does a lot of the same things that Lisa said Manager Sal does. It also sends emails and it sends a copy, and it pops. I created a special Google Calendar just for our business because Judy says, why do I have your husband's birthday on my calendar? So I made a special calendar, just an Inflated Creations calendar. Just today, when I was doodling around on 17 Hats, I figured out, because I saw my husband's birthday was today and my granddaughter's birthday is tomorrow. And I saw it on our calendar in 17. I said, no. And I saw where you change it. And it only takes now the Inflated Creations calendar, which on 17 Hats is not populated at all, but hopefully
right.
I will have accountability. So I didn't put it on my vision board, but I will be accountable. But I think a lot of these CRMs do the same thing. And I think the reason Lisa likes Manager Assessment is because it's familiar.
Oh, right. Absolutely. I did try 17 Hats for a while after I went to a convention and heard about it with Origami. Briefly, we were using Dubsado for a while, and it just was, it was much more than I needed for my personal business. So
right.
One of the comments that Jenny Prieto made, that she says she thinks that it just depends on what service and products you offer. And I have to agree with that I think that most of us, like we all have like different businesses and we all have different goals in mind. And most of these services that we're talking about have trial memberships.
Yes.
So, there's no reason not to sign up for one of them, like peruse them, see which one appeals to you most, try the trial membership. And
the only problem with that is that when you don't want to set up a trial membership and then not use it. Like,
right.
It's so much work to set these things up. So, but they all have the same. Is Giglio also a CRM? Ronnie?
Yes. Yeah. Giglio is just like Manager Sal. So the only difference, so when I first started, and I'm not going to talk about Giglio, but like I will briefly right now. So when I first started, I was using Manager Sal because Dave, my husband, who's a magician, was using Manager Sal. So that's how he was sending out his contracts. When I started doing balloon twisting, we were like, okay, we can use this same system because we already knew how to write up the contracts using Manager Sal. Well, that meant that we were going to have to be paying $20 a month for us to have two different systems. And so we were like, well, okay, that's fine. But because everything was under one, so we have an umbrella that we're under for tax purposes. So we have the overall entertainment company, and then we have the magic and the balloons are two separate companies that are kind of like, this is the corporate, and like, these are the, businesses that the corporate owns. So what we found out was that we could not have two different payment systems set up. So like if you were sending something to, or if Dave was sending out, how do I explain this? Sorry. I wasn't prepared to talk about Giglio. Sorry.
Oh.
But because there were two of us in one company trying to use the same emails and but we have different PayPals. So everything also gets separated because the magic taxes differently than the balloons.
Right.
And so even though it's under the umbrella of the one company, the entertainment and the decor,
the service
is two different services. So yeah. And so I didn't want to send somebody a contract and it say, magic, comedy and magic.com in the corner. I'm like, no, I need Vegas Balloon in the corner.
Right.
Even though it says, like the event entertainment, Vegas Balloon should be first. And so we tried to figure out how to be able to do that. And we're like, well, if we're going to spend $20 a month, because we have to get 2 separate programs, let's look at something that makes it so that we can put 2 separate payment portals in there. And there was all these different, so there were all these different things that made it so that we were able to go, okay, you have we have one account that all of the companies can fall underneath. And so the magic has its one, and the magic and the balloon twisting actually ends up following under the same because it's both entertainment, and then the balloon decor falls under another one. But I still have that one. I put in different contracts in mine. So if somebody calls me and they're like, okay, I want to have, balloon decor, I can click on the drop down menu and it's the balloon decor contract. Or if they're like, we're going to come out, you're going to be twisting, I have a twisting contract. If I'm subcontracting, I have a subcontracting contract that I send out because it's unfortunate.
That's a good idea to do. I never thought of that.
You want to trust people because you've known them for years and all that stuff, but you have to protect yourself because it took one time for somebody to tell me that they were going to be paying me $50 an hour to assist on something. And then when they went to go pay me, they wanted to pay me $15 an hour. And thank goodness I had the text messages to prove. So after that, I was like, nope, everybody gets a contract no matter what. So I put,
I'm confused, Ronnie. So this is through Gigio, or what booking system are you using now?
Oh, if I could interject
I use two different ones.
Sorry, if I could interject real quick. That in the chat, Jessica Zillman says that Dubsado is so overwhelming, even for a techie person like her. And that was kind of where I felt it was meant for a much bigger business than mine.
It's also very expensive.
And it is very
much
thorough.
More than 17 Hats.
It is very thorough and very, very nice, but it's just kind of like it was more than I needed for sure.
Yeah.
And that was from Jessica Zillman, and Hannah True said that in reference to 17 Hats, if you don't do if you do the trial for 17 Hats, you don't get the 30-day money back guarantee. So I think that I've not heard of that before. So anybody that's looking to do the trial, I would double check that doesn't.
I took the money back guarantee. I think
that doesn't
it's
negate
basically
that,
a 30-day free trial.
Right.
So
okay, Ronnie.
and Ronnie,
so
you're going to talk about. Yeah. What
are you using now?
Okay, so the two systems that we use, the one system that we use is Gigio. That's what we were using. Starting last year, when everything started going to hell, I as a hobby, I was like, I'm gonna make face masks. And so I was like, I kind of want to sell these, like if people want to buy them. So how do I sell my mask online? And my husband was like, oh, I'll make you a store. And I'm like, okay. So he found, because he was selling tickets for his virtual magic show. So he had found Square.online.
That's what
he showed. He showed me how to set up for my mask. Well, then as we were starting to do the deliverables, I was like, I am so exhausted making contracts for $100 deliveries. Like, I don't, like, this is going to sound super snarky, but we all know I don't do that. Like, I don't write 10 contracts for $100 each. Like, that is not what we do. We're big balloon people and we make these big builds, and that's how, And so I was like, I don't want to keep making a contract and having to get all of the information for the same delivery piece. I was like, oh, I wonder if there's a way that I can make just a click and buy website. And so Dave's like, use the one that you use for your mask. So same thing, Square.online, which, by the way, there are so many different websites and apps and things that have the word Square in them.
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah. And so when I first started, I was like, I don't know how to make, like, how do I put my points and sale, like all that in there? I was on the wrong website. I was on Square Up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like halfway through making this Vegas balloon delivery website. And I'm like, I'm on the wrong damn website.
And our website is Squarespace.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's different than Squarespace, and it's
Mhm.
different than Square that you use to take money.
The payment.
None of them are connected. None of them are connected.
There's not a Mr.
So
Square somewhere who is, you know, owning all this universe of Square apps.
it's like that
Oh.
joke where it's like remember
Yeah.
when Cranberry was trying to like get into everything? Like it was like cran apple, cran grape, like Square's like that. Like Square's just trying to get into everything. That's what it
Vodka.
reminds me of, right?
Cranberries get into
Like why is
everything.
Cranberry's trying to get into mimosas? Like no, leave my orange juice alone, thank you.
So
But
funny.
so what I did is I went, and because I do Holly's Twister Hood, and she was talking about the Canva. So piggybacking off what I was talking about last week with Canva and making all of these small graphics, I use those as my mock-ups, and I'll put those on the website. And so what I did when I started doing the deliverables to make it has a name. What is it called? Like, is it e-commerce?
Yes.
Yeah.
E-commerce.
I have
Mhm.
okay. That's the fancy name for it. I call it my click and order website. So anything on there
Right.
is it caps. So I have things that range from $50 and they go up to $300. I believe that if I'm writing something for $300, then I need to get more details on that. And so that's something that I am going to contact somebody for, and I will write up a contract and, you know, and go into the details and get all of that. That's fine. But the things where, so right now on my website, I have 4 different designs that are all onyx numbers. And then the features on the front of them are different. So like one has sunflowers on it and it's like the sunflower delivery. One is TikTok themed. And one, like I can't remember what they all are, but it's all the same
Right.
thing. And what I've done is I've taken it so that the people look at the picture and they say, that's the one that I want, the one with the sunflowers. And they click on the one with the sunflowers. They know that they are getting onyx numbers. They are getting sunflowers on the front. It's going to be blue and green on the bottom with silver accents. That's what you're getting. And
Okay.
so what's nice about that, and then like there's another section that I have where it's literally the same design 4 different times, but the first one is 1 silver and 1 gold number. And then the second one is 1 gold and 1 rose gold number. And then the next one is silver and rose gold. And then so it's the same
Well, you're not
one
giving them
over and over again.
choices.
I
So
do
But you're
not
does
give
giving,
this
them
but you're
tie
giving them
into a
choices
choices
calendar?
because they
in
could
the
choose.
drop down. Yeah. And so like
Right.
I know how
So-
many Mylars I have on hand. Oh, go ahead, Stephanie.
Right. Does this tie into a calendar for booking? Like, can you see when can they schedule a date?
You can
Will it
can
go in
pick
from your website?
so what yeah, so when you click on your thing, you pick the day and like the month and the day that you want it delivered, the time window, and I can go in and I
Right.
adjusted it because when I first started doing it, for some Lord knows why reason, 7 a.m. was an option for you to have your delivery at 7
Right.
a.m. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
no, this has to
We don't want to
change.
do that anymore.
Yeah, I know.
So
That was when
you
COVID
can-
first
yeah.
started, and we were going to deliver whenever the hell they wanted it. Now,
Well, I didn't.
7
Nobody
a.m.
was
is too
picking.
early.
Nobody was picking 7 a.m. So I didn't even notice that it was an option until I had somebody
Oh.
that was like, I was like 7 a.m. Like, oh no, we need to fix this right now. I was like, I am not. And they were across town. I was like, I have to get up at 5
Right.
a.m. to deliver balloons. No. The website address, Melissa, is vegasballoondelivery.com. And so what I like about it, what's really made it great for me, and now I'm spoiled by it, is that if I go onto one of my distributors and I find a Mylar that I like, I will order 5 to 10 of those Mylars. I'll make a mock-up design, and then I'll throw that on the website, and I can say, I have 9 of these available. And when it gets down to a certain number, it sends me an email and says, hey, by the way, you're low on this inventory. For most of the ones that I have, if it's going to be a specialty color, I have on there, it says you have 4 business days to order. So you have to order this 4 business days beforehand. If it's something that I have on hands that like, and I have had people that message and they're like, is there any way that you could do a delivery tonight? And I'm like, yeah, here's the website. And I say, click on find something that does not say 4 business days. If it says 4 business days, I do not have that on hand. I cannot guarantee that you're going to get that.
Right.
But they know, like, okay, like I have the giant cupcake with like the little, silver numbers on it. Like, yes, you can have that. The best thing about it is I can send them to that website and they can see I'm going to order something for $50, for $75, for $100, for $125, for $155. I don't have to say, what's your budget? They can look at the website and go, this is in my budget. This is what I can have.
Right.
And I love that it's eliminated.
That is a nice feature.
That's very
I
nice.
love it. And right now I think I have a small Mother's Day section on there. And so those are, because I'm going to be going out of town, I have it set so that these are the 2 days that you can have your Mother's Day delivery. And I have it right at the top of the section. And it says, here's some, Mother's Day inspirations or whatever I put on there, delivery dates, this and this. In that section, those options are going to be, how did I do my, hey, Melissa, I'll tell you. Sorry.
Can't read and talk at the same time.
I know, I can't. I'm like, what? Oh, sorry. I saw my name. I'm like, what? So those sections, when you drop down on those menus, if you want it for Mother's Day, you only have those 2 dates that you can pick from. So I did that for Valentine's Day. I said, this is the day when I'm doing Valentine's Day deliveries. And that was the only day available. Other than that, all the other days are available. And then I've already gone further ahead and taken December 1st off because I'm not working on my birthday. So it's not an option for delivery. So, and you can adjust that for each individual thing, or you can do overall in the modifiers. So I'm obsessed with that. I really love it. I'm learning more about it.
Sounds like a good system.
It's great for if you know, like if you don't want to write up contracts for columns, and like, okay, I know that these, like, this is how much a column cost, and it has all of, when you click on it, the price includes everything. Like, it's the all-inclusive price for me. So that includes the tax, the delivery, everything. It's like, this is how much you're paying, period. Like, I don't mess with all the
extras. You figure out the price with that in mind.
And those go into those different sections. Where was I going with that? Totally lost my train of thought.
Well, I think it's really awesome.
Yeah, but Melissa was asking how I did my mom mock-up. So I am in Holly George's Twister Hood. I joined when she first started, when she started doing all of her templates and things. So she actually has a whole tutorial section for people in the Twister Hood, and she made Canva mock-up templates for people in the Twister Hood. And that included those swirls that you see on there. And she went and got, I think it's like 27 is like my favorite number, I guess. So it's like 27 different colors, but each color is a Qualitex color. And so I use both Qualitex and Metallic, but if I'm making something on there, so you can actually scroll over the bubble and what rose gold and tropical teal will look like together, so that if you have a client that can't visualize it, you can make that mock-up real quick, and it's very close to the actual colors that it's going to be. She started doing them because people were trying to sell the yard art, but nobody had yard art to picture. I believe. Right. Oh gosh, I'm blanking on her name. But somebody helped her with it. Oh gosh, I want to give her credit and I can't remember her name. I totally blanked on her name. Megan, I believe, had a huge hand in helping with
Megan Raisby.
Yeah. And don't quote me on that. I might be wrong, but I believe that she had a huge hand in helping with the mock-ups and things to know how the yard art was supposed to look in the yards. And so that
would make sense for sure.
I joined the Twister Hood back when it was still on YouTube. So when she first started doing it on YouTube, and then she switched over. So like I pay a very small fee every month. And let me tell you, that has come in so handy because she actually did several videos on exactly how to use Canva and how to take the templates that she made and put them into Canva. And those have been a lifesaver for me. The only downside was that I did not realize how big unicorn heads are. And so when I made my first mock-ups, my unicorn heads are perfectly placed in with the numbers. And then I get it. I'm like, oh, this is not going to look like the picture.
Right.
So
It's
definitely.
good you're talking about Twisterhood because
right, I was
it's
gonna say
National Women's Month, and we're celebrating that
Yes.
here
Yeah.
on Working Wonders. Wasn't that smooth? That was
it's smooth.
Yeah.
Very
So each of
smooth.
us, if you guys remember from last week, have chosen 5 ladies that we would like to recognize within the industry. These are ladies that have touched us within our career and inspired us, as well as the industry as a whole. So we are going to be doing this all month long. And yeah. So this week, I have decided that I am going to honor the one and only Anne McGovern. Anne, her DVD, Profitable Centerpieces, was actually what I watched and helped me learn how to make my first centerpieces for my very first paying job.
wow.
So thank you very much, Anne, for that. Anne is a beautiful designer, and she is the owner of Elegant Balloons. Elegant Balloons has been in business for 16 years now and considers herself to be a deco twister, which I love. I love that phrase, deco twister. And she is, like I said, a very beautiful designer and is a highly awarded artist. She actually won 4 Float Awards in 2013, 2 first place awards and 2 second place awards, or I'm sorry, 3 first place awards and 1 second place award. She won the Winter Wonderland, first place in the Winter Wonderland entryway design. She won first place in the Delegate's Choice. And I want to say it was Wild Wild West centerpieces, if I remember correctly.
She
has so
like
many.
a gumball
She has
machine.
so many things. Yeah, she has so many awards and accolades. But I just thought that was cool. So yeah, we love you, Anne. Thank you for everything that you do for the industry and for us. You are definitely an inspiration.
Lisa, you want to go next?
Sure. I am highlighting my friend, an amazing balloon artist, Andrea Noel. As some of you may remember, she was actually our first guest here on Working Wonders back in December. She is just extremely, extremely talented. She has won multiple awards at multiple different conventions. She has traveled the world teaching really some amazing and advanced techniques. And I have had a front row seat to many of her shenanigans. She is the only person, I think, in the world that actually owns a balloon stuffing tank that she made herself to distort and stuff 6-foot balloons. And it's just, she's just really, really talented. A lot of her work just pushes the boundaries of what people can do with balloons. And she started off very young. If you guys recall, she talked a little bit about of her how she got her start in balloons whenever she was gifted a balloon twisting kit as a kid. And she does everything. She juggles, she stilt walks, she dabbled in face painting for a while, and she's a doctor. I just don't know, she's an amazing cook, and just her business is highly entertaining. She's very busy now with her day job, especially since COVID has hit the scene. So I dare say that much like many of us, she doesn't get to do balloons as often as she would like to. But she is just a inspiration to me, really, and helped me from the very beginning to just think outside of the box. And she's one of those people that helped me realize that, we all think of like IKEA as being one of the best suppliers of balloon, supplies, and it's like she's helped me look at like places like Lowe's and Home Depot as that too, where it's just like it's not just latex that we're working with here, that we really can bring anything into what it is that we're doing. And when it comes to distortion and double and triple stuffing things and adding water into balloons and shredding things, and you're able to just, like I said, think outside of the box. And she's one of those people that right from the get-go just blew my mind. And so if you guys ever get the opportunity to watch her work, I would say pull up a chair and have a seat, and you're in for a treat. So Andrea Noel, guys, she's amazing. Who's next?
I'll go next if you want. I chose my woman this week was Carolyn Heyman, who, as I don't think there's anybody who doesn't know that she's Conrad the Unicorn's mom. She developed him for.
She is his mom. She's his mom.
She created him the first time for a Twist and Shout convention, which I think she won an award for Conrad.
Yeah.
Conrad, by the way, has his own 18,000 Facebook followers, and he also has 4,400 followers on Instagram. But what Conrad is great. He's also, by the way, copyrighted for anybody who.
Yeah, he had his own publicist for a while. I don't know if he still does, but he actually had his own publicist.
But he's also copyrighted. You are not allowed to make Conrad.
Oh yeah,
right.
And she protects that, which she should. But she's also sort of, to me, and maybe there was someone who did this before, but she sort of invented for me the balloon costumes. When you go onto Conrad's page, you see all his friends, the leprechaun and the lawn gnome and I took a class with her. She made
my favorite is the carrot during the Thanksgiving parade. I love the carrot for some reason.
Yeah, it's so funny.
She made an ear of corn. I was at a convention where she made the eagle Uncle Sam.
Yes.
And the truth is, she made it seem so easy. I mean, we were 6 people making her one thing, and we sort of didn't get it quite right. But she's also just a lovely person to talk to, and very giving. And I think when also by thinking out of the box and creating this genre of balloons, which really anybody who practices could do to some extent, not as talented as she, but it makes us all better balloonists. It just gives us all, and it gives our customers ideas of, oh, I never would have thought of that, but they see Conrad and they think, wow, balloons are more than just balloons on a string, and they're never just balloons. So, a salute to Carolyn. She's a wonderful balloonist and a wonderful person.
Yay. Well, my person is somebody who is retired from doing balloons. And it is Sandy, Missouri. And here's the thing for me. I started doing balloons, 5 years ago. And I started off as a twister, and I fell in love with the idea of doing decor. When I was only a part of one Facebook group that had to do with balloons, and that was the Balloon Twister Central. And I love everybody in this industry, but let's face it, people do not like to answer questions when you're new and you're asking stupid questions. Like if I were to post in Balloon Twister Central, hey guys, how do I make a column? I would have gotten berated beyond all belief, as well I should have been, because
and you still will.
And I still will, yes.
And
here's the thing. I was like, there's got to be some information that I can at least know where to start. And so I went on YouTube, and I found the first video was the one where she was making the under the sea, like the psychedelic link canopy. And that was the first time I'd ever seen a link balloon. And that was the first time that I ever saw, the things stacked, and a water weight, and how to make stuff a quad into another quad, and all of these things. And I was like, ooh, this is like magic. And so I watched all of her videos, and I got her book. And somewhere she was like, if you have any questions, message me. And I'm like, there's no way that this lady who doesn't know me is going to answer my questions. And I took a chance, and I messaged her on Facebook, and she answered every single dumb question that I had. down to where to buy a knot lamp. I had no idea where to buy knot lamps. We didn't have IKEA in Las Vegas at the time. And so she was like, well, let me show you this, like, let me send you this video of how to make a base. And let me and she kind of like made it so that I wasn't afraid to ask questions, and it made it so that I wanted to learn more. And then I learned about the conventions, and then I learned about all of these different things, and the ball got rolling. And I was like, I really need to make sure that I know my stuff. And so when I went to my first balloon convention, two of the things that I made sure that I knew the names and the sizes of all of the different balloons. And that was because I had seen that link balloon. And I was like, I did not know balloons came in links. And so I learned about, 360s and 660s and 646s and 321s and all of these different things. And so she inspired me to learn more about this thing that I wanted to make my craft. And it's very frustrating for all of us who are in this industry, who have paid for these conventions, who have paid for classes, who take the time out of our day to read the books, to know that we're doing everything the right way. And because of her, I made sure that I was doing it the right way, because she led me down that path. I can't say that everybody took her information and did it the right way, but I definitely was inspired to go, okay, I need to make sure that I'm putting the right base in this, or is this arch going to need helium if it's got link balloons in it? And I can do this without helium because I can't get a tank, and all of these different things. That it was great. And like I said, for somebody who didn't know me, she had no idea who I was. I was just some weird person messaging her on Facebook asking about balloons, and she messaged me back, and it was like, this is amazing. And so she really inspired me.
She was like your first instructor.
And yeah, she was like my first instructor.
It's like Tawny's like your balloon twister mentor, yeah. And Sandy is your balloon decor mentor. Very nice.
Olsa did a lot to publicize balloons. She did a lot of TV work, not decorating TV shows, but going like on, Good Morning San Diego and stuff like that, which all of these things promote all of us, because people see that and they see what we can do.
So Stephen Jones has just showed up. So better late than never. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for coming. You're here right for our outro.
Right here for the outro.
So Debbie, why don't you let everybody know what's coming up?
Talk about what's coming up on the Float Network. The next class is Jeff Kelly, which is going to be March 16th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is the only time I deal with. It's called Supercharge Your Website. There'll be details on it, because Steve is worried that there's no charge for anybody who is registered for Float. You don't have to be fully paid up for this one, but you do need to be registered. And there might be issues of too many of us being on the Facebook Live. So Steve hasn't exactly worked it all out yet, but you'll all be getting, I'm sure in Float the Convention, there will be information on how to sign up. But I'm looking forward to it, to supercharge my website. And
me too.
By then I'll have 17 hats all working. So then it'll just all integrate beautifully.
Yay.
Nice.
Awesome. And then, as always, I want to remind everybody that these are our personal thoughts, and these are the ways that we do things. You don't have to do it the way that we do it. But yeah, that's it.
But they should.
They should listen to us.
I'm just kidding.
We know a thing or two about a thing or two.
Speaking of just kidding, razzing Stephen Jones for showing up late to the show. Today's his mom's birthday, so happy birthday, Mom!
Happy birthday,
Mom! Did you get her
Mrs.
delivery?
It was gorgeous.
He said that the email for the class is actually going to go out tomorrow for all y'all that were that are looking forward.
I'm just giving you the teaser.
Yeah.
And this way you all know to look out for that email, so you won't have
and make sure you read
email anybody
email.
that you didn't get in.
Read the email.
Read that email. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. I would like to thank everybody for coming on out tonight. We love seeing you all in the chat. And please join us next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when the ladies and I will be discussing our point of sales and accounting software. Yeah, we've got a very digital heavy month this month, and so hopefully you guys
digital.
Well, we have the feminine women, and we have the digital. It makes it nice.
Yeah, it's this month is all about women and you know,
and
making our
money.
business run smoother.
What else do we want to talk about?
Right?
How
What
does
is
the
there?
song go?
Right.
It's the you gotta get the milk money.
Oh
Get that milk money.
It's actually
That might
called
be
milk
inappropriate.
money. But
So
anyway, goodbye. Have a good night.
Next week we're going to be talking about, you know, our point of sale and accounting software. And just a reminder, in case y'all forgot, we are the Working Wonders. And it's not just who we are, it's what we do. So we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.